Hello, it seems that on the media website formerly known as Twitter, and possibly on many other social media websites, flat earthers continue to take Robert Simmons' words out of context. Well, what else is new? And they seem to quote mine and cherry pick what he has to say. This is not the first time that they do that. They seem to have a problem with the Antarctic Treaty, thinking that you can't go there when clearly that says that you can. You just have to notify everybody else that you can. And there are a few other restrictions like not being able to set up military bases, etc. But anyways, I figured I was going to help flat earthers along and read an interview that somebody did with Robert Simmon to talk about his famous blue marble photo that they all seem to be really, really excited to think about. I'm going to be reading the article that is published on NASA's website, and I will try to keep it as non-snarky as I can. For anybody who does not know, Robert Simmon was a lead data visualizer and information designer working for NASA, at least at the time. I don't know what his current status is with them. And he stitched together, or was part of a team that stitched together a whole bunch of data using Photoshop to create a blue marble that they released, I believe it was in 2002. So the first question was, what do you do and what is the most interesting about your role here at Goddard? How do you help support Goddard's mission? His answer, my role is to make imagery from Earth sciences data. I turn data into pictures. I look for new interesting events that NASA's satellites have seen or that are hidden in the latest data, to find anything interesting that shows off NASA's unique capabilities. Finding things is the fun part. I rely on engineers and scientists to produce the data. Their reliable real-time stream of 1.7 terabytes a day is incredible, the same as filling 3,000 CDs a day. We know where to look for the interesting stuff because each instrument provides a very specialized type of instrument. So if I'm looking for something specific, I know where to look. For example, recently there was a volcano eruption in the Red Sea. The only reliable imagery of this was from NASA's satellites. We basically confirmed the existence of a new island. Our team is purely about communications. We translate data into a usable and understandable form. Our writers and visualizers explain what we are seeing, and our web developers tell the world. The next question, and this is the question that when he gave responses, probably in this interview, probably in other interviews, flat earthers cherry pick, quote mine, and run off with it, thinking that they've got some kind of ultimate aha moment. What is the coolest thing you've ever done as part of your job at Goddard? And this is the part where flat earthers completely ignore and reject as if somehow they've got some new revelation from wherever they think they get their revelation. The last time anyone took a photograph from above low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere. Let me repeat that. The last time anyone took a photograph from above the low Earth orbit that showed an entire hemisphere, that is, one side of a globe, was in 1972 during Apollo 17. NASA's Earth Observing System, EOS for short, satellites were designed to give a checkup of Earth's health. And by the way, NASA's Earth Observing System, EOS satellites, back then, at least back then, were low Earth orbit satellites. That would have been in around the 2000 timeframe. By 2002, we finally had enough data to make a snapshot of the entire Earth. And so how would they do that? How would they do that? Accepting that what he just said from the start of his answer is accurate, assuming for a minute that there are things above the Earth high enough to see what we would commonly think of as images of Earth from a low Earth satellite, how could you take those and stitch them all back together to make one giant image as seen from further out. You would do exactly what a camera does. You would take a whole bunch of static still pictures, images, and you would line them all up so that if you're sweeping in a single direction, one image is going to appear to be slightly to the left of the next, and the next one after that is going to be slightly to the left of that one. And so what you do is you just line them all up and you find commonly identifiable landmarks, you line them all up together, and then you make one slightly larger image from each of these smaller images, and that is exactly how a camera works when you take a panoramic image. Any modern smartphone can do that when you do a panoramic image. In 2002, when they decided to do this, they decided to use Photoshop and stitch all of these smaller, lower images together to make one giant image, and they used probably, my guess, some kind of equirectilinear map. And here I continue with his answer. So we did. The hard part was creating a flat map of the Earth's surface with 4 months of satellite data. Reto Stockley, now at the Swiss Federal Office of Meteorology and Climatology, did much of this work. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. This is another part of this quote mine cherry picking, taking out of context that flat earthers love to do. Then we wrapped the flat map around a ball. My part was integrating the surface, clouds, and oceans to match people's expectations of how Earth looks from space. That ball became the famous blue marble. I was happy with it, but had no idea how widespread it would become. We never thought it would become an icon. I certainly never thought that I would become Mr. Blue Marble. We have since updated the base maps by increasing the resolution, and for 2004 we made a series of monthly maps. Yes, Robert Simmon said it's photoshopped because it has to be. Because since 1972, they wanted to produce an updated blue marble picture of Earth, and the only source that could produce such an image were low Earth orbit satellites, and they had to take the pictures that said low Earth orbit satellites took and stitch them together to make them appear as if it was a single photo taken from much further away. So much for trying to keep the snarkiness to a minimum. But what can you expect from flat earthers that completely ignore everything that you say? That's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching.